So, welcome to today's information forum here at Make a Change Canada. We like to call this Find Your Fit with Make a Change Canada. Today's date is Thursday, November the 16th, 2017. I'm Anne-Marie Edgar, and I'm the Executive Director of Make a Change Canada, and it's really wonderful that you've been able to attend today. So thank you very much, and sit back, relax. We've got a really nice presentation here for you to enjoy today. Our general format is I'm hoping to keep our presentation definitely within the hour time limit, but call on some of our staff who are also attending to have some extra input into just what we're doing here at Make a Change Canada. So a bit of a forum, open forum session. As well, at any time, please feel free to type any questions you may have into the chat area. We'll keep a watch for any of your questions, and we're happy to answer any of your questions at all. So first off, I'd like to introduce the other staff that have joined me here today in the classroom. First off, we have Douglas Tardif. Doug is our team leader here at Make a Change Canada. And he's been with us for a long time. I've been with Make a Change Canada for over 10 years, and so has Doug as well. And just to let you know, Doug's located in New Brunswick. So we'll have Doug, and I'll be hoping to call on Doug for some input a little later on. We also have Mary Alton with us today, and Mary is our employment case manager, working specifically in the Business Abilities program. Thanks very much, Mary, for being here today, and I look forward to hearing from you a little later on. And just to let you know, Mary's been with us for almost 10 years now as well, and she's located in New Brunswick as well. Now, also with us today, we have Kelsey Berg, who's recording this session. I do want to let you know that the session will be recorded, because there will be people who couldn't make it to attend the session and they'll want to watch the recording later on. So just to let you know. Now, along those lines as well, I want to let you know that throughout the presentation, I'm going to be presenting some stories and some photographs of clients who have been in our programs. And I want to assure you ahead of time that we have the consent to share the stories from those involved. Now, before I skip too far ahead, we also have a new staff member with us here today observing, and her name is Ursa Jeanette Child. And Ursa is going to be working in our programs. Well, she started yesterday, so you'll probably be speaking with Ursa at some point along the line. So it's great to have Ursa here as well. So moving along then, I want to give you a bit of an overview of what we do here at Make a Change Canada. Really, this visual explains it quite nicely. We have two online programs, the Business Abilities program and the Web Essentials Web Advanced program. Thirdly, as a national charity, we're branching out into the area of social enterprise, and we're creating a new social enterprise. I'll get into more detail regarding our programs here in just a little bit. But first, a little bit of history about Make a Change Canada. First, Make a Change Canada was originally started through the Community Futures of British Columbia organization, and originally we were known as the Canadian Society for Social Development, or CSSD for short. And I'm sure Toby, who's in the room here today, recalls that old name. But we've got a fresh new name, Make a Change Canada, which really speaks to what we do as an organization and what we believe in. So first off, we were incorporated in 2004. And that same year, we received two prestigious awards. For the Web Essentials Web Advanced program, we received the Minister's Award for Excellence in Innovation and a Community-Based Learning Opportunities Award as well. And then in 2005, we gained our charitable status. In 2008, we changed our focus a bit. We opened up the Web Essentials Web Advanced programs really to anyone who wished to take the program. Previously to this, it was run as a pilot program and only for people with disabilities. In 2015, we became a community coordinator organization, and that was a really great move forward for our organization in that we have much more ability to be able to help clients in our programs in many more ways, including providing some training to clients in the Business Abilities program and some additional supports. Again, in 2015, as I alluded to, we changed our name to Make a Change Canada. And the really great thing about 2015 is that we also gained national accreditation as a charity under Imagine Canada standards program. Really underlying everything, Make a Change Canada has a consistent history in providing online training programs. And what distinguishes us is that we are the pioneer in the field of offering online training for people facing employment challenges. And to date, we have served over 2,000 clients through our programs. It's really great to take a look at really what guides and steers us as an organization and really keeps us grounded and focused. And that's our guiding principles. Mary Alton is pasting some links into the chat area if you want to surf a bit and explore. I'll just read you briefly our mission statement. Make a Change Canada develops and delivers business startup and web technology training to people facing challenges to employment. This training is supportive, self-paced, and supportive in nature. Sorry, sort of skipped a bit there. Through our online curriculum and our skilled and caring service teams, Make a Change Canada is empowering others to realize their full potential. So do keep your eye out. We're very soon going to have a new vision and mission, and we're opening up some new areas of opportunity for the organization. So it's super exciting, and I think you're going to like our new vision and mission in future. So moving along then, who takes our programs and why? And this is a really important question. So really, when you look at it at the top level, Web Essentials, Web Advanced is open to anyone who meets the eligibility requirements. In contrast, Business Abilities is only open to people who self-identify as living with a disability. What we've learned from our clients over the years is that, first off, they want a flexible learning environment. Our clients also have a motivation to increase their earnings. They want to build and maintain their own website. That might be some of the motivation. They want to strengthen their skills. A lot of people who apply to our programs want to work from home, but that isn't always the case. It does vary. And really, what we're hearing for clients a lot, and more so all the time, is that our clients want quality programming and individualized service. And this is just the one joke that I'll throw into the whole presentation. And the benefit of online programming is you can take a coffee break whenever you want. So it's just got so many benefits to be involved in taking an online program, especially if you're a coffee drinker. So in a little bit more in depth, what are the program benefits of our programs? Both of our programs are online and offered all across Canada. Now, Business Abilities is absolutely no cost to the participants, so it's a free program. And the Web Essentials, Web Advanced program is fundable. Now, first off, you can work when you want and continue to meet your daily obligations. That's a huge thing. People more so than ever have a heavy load of personal obligations, and this allows people to maintain those other commitments as they're advancing, working towards new goals in their career. Another benefit is that participants receive one-on-one assistance when needed, and they receive ongoing follow-up and support. There's an opportunity to network with other participants. For instance, on Facebook, there's a group of graduates that have their own group on Facebook. So there's some opportunity to network, most certainly. And we also like to have opportunities for our participants to showcase their work. So there is, you know, a chance to get some good exposure for your work. People in our programs can maintain their freedom. The really neat thing is also that a participant can completely move to a new city. And unlike a classroom-based program, they don't have to give up or quit the educational program. And a lot of times our clients find they need some money and they can pick up a part-time job and work. So it's super flexible, super supportive. And those are really the underlying defining factors of our service. Okay, so that leads to the next key question. So who are our clients and what brings them to Make a Change Canada? So the footprint on the left really speaks for itself visually. But the wording on the left here really shows the gamut. We're serving the full spectrum in so many different categories. For instance, older workers right down to youth, people who are parents, single people, people with a formal education and those lacking an education. We're serving the unemployed and as well as employed people. There's people living in rural and remote areas and people in the big city, so in urban. We're also serving experienced, very savvy entrepreneurs in some cases, and those that are just getting their feet wet and really wrapping their head around the idea of being an entrepreneur. And here in front of you, this is Doug, who's in the room today, Doug Tardif. And he's our team leader in the Business Abilities program, but really for all of Make a Change Canada. And I think this is really what exemplifies the Business Abilities program is the quality of the business coaching. So that's really key. But some other components of the Business Abilities program are the website, where participants have a lot of reading material, training videos, and a lot of valuable business links to help them with their business planning. As well, on the Business Abilities website are a series of worksheets that, once completed, form the basis for the completed business plan. We hold webinars on a weekly basis here in Go to Training, and we have our staff coming in to do presentations, as well as some really interesting guest speakers. And as I mentioned at the beginning, our business coaches are really the final component of the program. And our coaches are providing ongoing feedback and support. So it's a great resource for bouncing absolutely any idea off of someone with some great experience as an entrepreneur and in the business world. How does Business Abilities work? It's step by step. It's really quite organized, and the participants work through from start to finish, not sort of skipping ahead, but starting at the beginning and really looking at whether they actually are fit or whether entrepreneurship is a good choice. So that's really the starting point. Now, we do have clients that decide that it really wouldn't be in their favor to move ahead with starting a business, and they opt to try for finding a job. So we can also help our participants if they want to conduct a job search instead and prepare for interviews and whatnot. A lot of our clients do decide to move ahead and work on a business plan, so that moves them into the next steps, researching their business idea, working on pricing, marketing, looking at whether to become an incorporated company or work as a sole proprietor, considerations on working from home. So these are all modules in the program. And then finally, in Module 8, participants produce an actual business plan. Business plans can be as simple as a 3-page document up to a traditional 40, 50, 60-page formal business plan to present for an application for funding. So there's a really wide range of business ideas for people coming into the program. And a person, say, wanting to do a dog walking business perhaps doesn't need the 40-page business plan, or doing some crocheting of some items for craft fairs or candle making. You know, don't need to go to the same extent as somebody, say, doing some new product development or wanting to open a storefront or something. So there's a big range, and it really makes our work with clients in the program exciting and very diverse. The really neat thing about the Business Abilities program is that once the business plan is completed, we continue to serve clients in the program and support them through their business startup. So the business coach relationship is maintained, and there's continued support. And that's really when people, you know, need that support as well, right through the business startup. The eligibility requirements. I know that our participants here in the room here today will be familiar with our eligibility, but as I mentioned previously, the program is only open to people who self-identify as living with a disability. Now, that doesn't mean that our applicants need to have a full package of medical information. So that is a really nice benefit, that there isn't all this documentation required in order to qualify. It's really a wonderful, wonderful program, and we're very pleased to be able to offer the program, and really the open nature of it, that it gives people an opportunity to move forward with some sort of a career, with looking at a new career. We did a study back in 2012, 2013, and this is where this visual on this page came from. And I've got to say that this study was very scientific. It was completed by an educational research consultant who had a really strong background in disability studies, and she did an amazing job. And the thing about the outcomes from the study that she did is that it told us what our clients are living with day to day. And I think at that point in time, I had been working for the organization for, well, at least 4 years. And I never really stopped to have a good idea of what people were going through day to day. So the study let us know that. And I just want to highlight something that really touched us personally as a team to learn. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of mental health issues prevalent among really the Canadian population in general, but among our clientele, there's an awful lot of anxiety, depression. So we see people living with mental health issues in particular, but we serve people with any sort of disability, so any health condition. What is really prevalent are pain issues among our clientele, as well as mobility issues. And this really came out in the study. It was really highlighted. The incidence reported was just really high. So our clients reported that they were living in pain, day-to-day, often extreme pain. But what our researcher did was she measured the quality of life. So she specifically asked the respondents, how do you enjoy your life? What is the quality of life? You know, those things that are important. And they reported high levels of satisfaction. So at that point in time, my hair almost stood on end, because you think, how could that be? How could it be that people are living in such pain and struggling, but at the same time, really looking positive about their lives, really feeling like things are up, you know, things are bright, in other words. So this was a really good piece for us to take away. And I think we've been successful in always keeping this in mind day to day as we're serving our clients. So I thought I'd share that with you because I find it, you know, it just sort of defies logic, but it speaks to the motivation of people coming to our programs. And this is why people are so successful in our programs, because they're coming to us with a lot of drive. So at this point, I'll just flip back to the previous screen because that's my last screen for business abilities. I'd like to call on Douglas Tardif, our team leader, and just take a moment, if we can, to get some of Doug's thoughts on his work serving clients in the business abilities program.
Thanks, Anne-Marie. I really, I wake up in the morning and I get incredibly excited some days because I'm working with some very interesting people and some clients who want to achieve a great deal. And the Business Abilities program has morphed and changed over the years. We're handling an awful lot more complex businesses now than we were offering in the beginning. And that's been wonderful as well because it keeps it interesting for the business coaches. And the thing that I enjoy the most is actually meeting and liaising with my fellow business coaches. I know I speak with Chantel and Louise on a regular basis, and we discuss various client issues, etc. And we're able to bring a breadth of knowledge to the clients for whatever their problems are. They feel that they're having a problem in the research area. A discussion amongst the business coaches might open up some different opportunities that someone else hasn't thought about and makes it more viable for the client. So it's exciting for the client and it's exciting for us as well. I've also been really motivated and turned on by some of the businesses recently that we've been involved in. Over the last year specifically, I've got one business that I'm working with. My client is working in the drone business, and he's providing a service that is entirely new, state-of-the-art, cutting edge, and it involves a number of federal and provincial agencies. And the business has grown organically. You thought it was going to be small. It's grown and grown and grown. And that's so much fun because he's getting an awful lot out of the program. We're getting, I just love speaking with this client, and you can tell that he's really moving forward and things are going to happen for him. And that's where I get my greatest joy, to be honest. I've been doing this now for quite some time, as Anne-Marie mentioned earlier, and I enjoy every aspect of it. And I really, really feel that we're bringing a service that is much required. It's still state-of-the-art. We're still the leaders in the field of providing this kind of learning. And the thing that's good for us is that we're very flexible and we're adaptable. And we have learned from many of the clients coming into the program in the past, and we've learned what their difficulties are, where they're having some particular problems, and we've adapted the program along in order to make it more available to them and make it more meaningful. But we're always supportive, and we're very, very compassionate with some of their needs as well. So that's all I have for today, Anne. I don't know if there's something specific that you wanted me to talk about, but I just love it. I'm really excited about it.
Well, that in itself is wonderful to hear, Doug, for sure. And I think entrepreneurs love to nurture entrepreneurs. So this really comes out all the time when I hear you speak, how excited you are just for the work. You know, I've heard you say so many times over the years, you're just so happy to get up in the morning and go to work. So yeah, it's great to hear. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. So I am going to move along then, just switch gears now to the IBDE, Web Essentials Web Advanced program. So this is our online digital technology and design program that we've now been offering for 12 years. So the program has pretty much remained the same, but we've expanded and opened up an advanced program. And over the years, we've always kept the courses current and relevant. to what people need, what skills are needed in the labor market. Web Essentials program is a 6-month program which has 9 courses, and graduates earn a certificate in web development and design. There is a fee of $3,995 for the program, but in certain cases, students can be funded, so this can be covered. And as a national charity, we're always looking for donations as well to help us sponsor clients through our technology programs. The Web Advanced program is a 4.5-month program featuring 4 courses, and graduates earn a certificate in advanced web development and design. Each course carries a fee of $495. Really, what underlines our programs in the web technology is the same. It's supportive online programming. The courses in the programs, we cover really everything that any comparable program is covering. So there's the HTML and CSS coding. There's the proper theory and approach to designing websites. We're teaching introductory and advanced web graphics with Photoshop, Creative Cloud. And we're teaching actually Bootstrap now, Bootstrap site building, which is the latest in technology to build mobile-ready sites, and that's our IBDE 112 site design with libraries and frameworks, which includes some JavaScript and jQuery as part of the topic areas. And the really neat thing actually about both the programs is that they contain a practicum component. So in the Web Essentials program, students are building an actual website. And in the Web Advanced program, they're building a WordPress hosted website with an emphasis on it being a blogging site. In the advanced program, we're teaching PHP and MySQL coding, which is a really hot skill to have in today's labor market, as well as some web marketing tools for search engine optimization. I get really excited when I talk about the career opportunities that are possible through the IBDE Web Essentials Web Advanced program. The tech sector is absolutely exploding today. There's beginning to be a shortage of qualified personnel to be able to hire to do your technology work. Not only that, but at the same time as it's really moved into the marketing and communications area. And there's so many directions that graduates can head into, really based on their passion. So just to briefly outline what our graduates are working as and in after they graduate. Certainly, we do have graduates working as web developers. They're usually starting out as junior developers, but that is a possible career path for sure. We have some of our graduates doing graphic design. We have had some of our graduates doing end user technical support, so they can get into also sales roles, so doing technology sales, but they hold the knowledge, so they can say build some of that promotion to go with the sales. We have people running websites, so webmasters. Now, under the entrepreneurship area, traditionally the program was training entrepreneurs to run and build their own websites, and that's definitely still occurring. So that's definitely happening. We have entrepreneurs taking IBDE specifically to have their own website. We also have a group, quite a lot of our students have an administrative background, but what they're finding is that they don't have the tech skills to attract the attention of employers. So they're picking up the IBDE program in order to really outshine those that they're competing against in the labor market. So we do have graduates going on to work as technical administrative assistants, technical customer service reps, I know some graduates doing telephone work for, say, cable companies, telephone companies. We have communications coordinators, and we do have clients who want to be virtual assistants. And virtual assistants aren't just asked to do admin work, they're now asked to do the gamut and web development. This is a really neat area. The fourth area is the marketing area. And what we generally see happening here is that we'll have a student come to us who's worked in marketing, let's say as an event coordinator, or maybe designing print-based media. And inevitably, the world has moved to the digital, and you really can't be successful in marketing totally if you're not embracing the technology that your customers want nowadays. So we've seen some great successes of our graduates working as communications consultants. I had one of our graduates tell me that there's so much work out there, Anne-Marie. And then her voice got quiet when I was talking to her, and she says, and it's only the tip of the iceberg. So it is literally exploding. I hear it from our graduates that there's just not going to be a shortage of opportunities. And when you think about our graduates, you know, this is an entry-level program, but our graduates can feel a niche where businesses can hire the programmer who's 150, 200 an hour, or really isn't interested in speaking the language of the business world and just wants to be stuck in programming land. So our graduates can come in and really act as that intermediary to make things happen for the business world and for employers. Super exciting. I hope that speaking about that sort of gives you some ideas based on your own passions about where you might move in your career by bringing in some of that technical aptitude into your role. So, Toby, you did have a couple of questions, and I see Mary's answered your first question. Why did we change from Photoshop Creative Suite to Photoshop Creative Cloud? Really, it's because the Creative Suite, the CS6 version, is no longer supported by Adobe. And then your second question, you know of some graduated students are going back to IBDE. Yeah, and you're asking if they need to pay the fee again. Yes, the fee is applicable. We do need to pay instructors and maintain the program, so there is a cost. But the good news is that there are funding sources available, and we are also pretty soon to gain the HRSDC, or now known as Employment and Social Development Canada certification as well. So that's a good help to applicants coming our way. Thanks, Toby. Okay, so moving on then. There we go. Eligibility for IBDE. Like Business Abilities, this is a really open program for eligibility. Really, the most important thing is the candidate's ability for independent study. It is an online program, and it's important to be able to really get your feet on the ground in an online program and not struggle with the online learning environment. We do require a grade 12 minimum education or mature student status. And students need, obviously, a good computer, internet connection. They don't need to have great computer skills to begin with, but at least that comfort level that's going to allow them to learn and grow as they move through the program. And the ability to commit to the set program schedule, because there is a set workload. For the Web Advanced program, we do have specific requirements that either either the applicants have completed the Essentials program and have the necessary knowledge of HTML5 and CSS in order to not struggle in the advanced program. So there can be graduates of the Essentials program who we do encourage to go out and develop their skills before they move into the advanced, because it is quite challenging. It's definitely a programming course and a steep learning curve for students in the advanced program. Program features in IBDE are that the curriculum is online and structured. So it's a really good organized curriculum. Everything's there that students need. We also have live classroom sessions, usually every week, here in Go to Training. There are video tutorials throughout the courses that are super helpful, and students can follow along step by step. And again, there's practicums for both programs that really are an essential test of the knowledge learned during the programs. The application process involves submitting an online application, completing a basic computer skills assessment, and completing a short 30-minute interview. We have an intake upcoming this January for Web Essentials, January 22nd, and Web Advanced will be for January 30th. Now, we're also on the horizon, we are developing a special intake for youth for July 2018 as well. So if you know of any youth who have that inclination towards technology, and it sounds like the great program, feel free to definitely refer them our way. We'd appreciate that. So this is really nice. I'm going to move into a little bit more now about some stories about our participants, and then I'll call on Mary Alton in a while here. So Toby, the youth would be age 15 to 29. So in around that age group. Okay, so our participants, this is really the way I like to boil it down to, are talented, determined, savvy, but stuck. For some reason they're stuck, and maybe it's been due to some other programs haven't quite been what they needed to carry them forward, or like I mentioned, it's a life overload with so many commitments, or maybe somebody's hit that glass ceiling in the workplace, that age where it becomes more difficult, or youth, stuck as a youth, or people with disabilities. So there's generally that factor for participants that come our way. It's not just this linear, easy slide up in developing a career in a lot of cases. That's what we're here for. But what we really find among our clientele is these hidden clients, hidden talents. So when I talk about savvy, I can't count the number of times I've been conversing with a client, and it comes out in the conversation that they're a poet, they're a physical artist, they're a videographer, an actor, craftsperson, and more so, I guess, active than I am myself. Just really being stuck in the business world. They're really diverse and a joy to work with. So I think at this point, on that note, I wonder, Mary, are you able to just sort of add a little bit of reflection to what I've said in the last segment here, or what's your experience, or what are you sort of seeing these days? What trends, or what excites you? Anything come to mind at all that you can add to the presentation?
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Certainly, I'm happy to just share some general thoughts. From my experience, since I started working with the organization in 2008, I've always been impressed with the caliber of individuals that we see wanting to engage in our programs, both IBD and business abilities. And Anne-Marie's really chosen some great words here to describe who our participants are. They really are incredible people, very driven, very determined individuals. I think the biggest thing is that despite whatever may be going on in their lives on a day-to-day basis or some of their struggles, they haven't given up. You know, they still have their goals, they have their dreams. They're committed to moving forward and taking things one step at a time until they reach those goals. So I think it's really fantastic that we get such a wide variety of interests and backgrounds, as Anne-Marie talked about. You know, everybody's got a special story. Everybody has their own talents and gifts, whatever area they may be in. No two people are alike, and as such, we have people with all different types of goals coming into this. So I think it's really interesting to see how these programs can fit in to that wide audience and the different goals that are present, and how some of the training that we are providing, the support that we're providing, can benefit them and move them that step closer to fulfilling what they want to do, and getting started with whatever job or business they'd like to. And that's another piece of it, is we have people who are certainly focused on entrepreneurship and starting their own business. We have people who are also very much interested in, you know, maybe securing a part-time sort of position or contracted position, where they still have that flexibility that they're looking for, but at the same time, through the process of really exploring what their best options are, they may come to that conclusion to say, you know what, I really don't know if self-employment is ideal for me, but I'm definitely feeling that I can move forward with trying to secure employment. I just need a little help along the way. So I'm always inspired by the people that we meet, again, because we just have such incredible stories, you know, and it's actually very interesting when you're able to share some of the life experiences that our clients have had. So, you know, to me, it makes my life seem very boring a lot of the time. You know, they're well seasoned, they're well traveled, they've seen so many different things and experienced so many different things in their lives. So to me, I learn a lot, I grow a lot from my experiences with them and from just having an opportunity to work with them. So I hope that sort of answers kind of what you were looking for, Anne-Marie.
It's always great to get your insight, because you're in touch with so many of the people coming our way, Mary. So, you know, it really speaks volumes just to hear your thoughts. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So a little bit more in depth in terms of some of the stories and successes programs on an individual basis. Really, this is really exciting, is Colin's story. So Colin was one of our earlier graduates from 2007 from the Web Essentials program. And he really quickly found his feet programming websites and did that for several years. He always had an interest in technology and has a previous diploma in training behind him. Now, Colin, his particular story was that he was having to commute to a work site, and he had moved himself up to be a supervisor at that location in a computer lab. But he's a wheelchair user, and with an hour-and-a-half commute each way, it was actually affecting his health condition, and it was really not conducive with good health. So he was having to look at some other options, and we happened to be running some ads on TV at that time. He saw this, he thought, hey, you know what, that sounds like an opportunity for me. So Colin had this to say in a write-up that we did with him. Since taking the IBDE course, I have become more proficient and confident in developing websites. I have developed numerous websites since my graduation, and even my clients are impressed with my work. If it weren't for the IBDE course, I don't know what I would be doing as a career. The IBDE course and instructors have given me the knowledge and confidence which has shaped my career as a successful freelance web developer. So just sort of fast forwarding, this is super exciting. We've worked with Colin for the last few years. As a web programmer, he's come on to do a bit of programming then as a peer tutor, then as an educational assistant, and he's actually now in charge of his own set of students that he's been teaching in our program for a 6-week period, and he's really a natural. So, you know, who knows, there may be some future there, but it's been a great opportunity to work with Colin really in an instructional role. So, you know, I think this is just shows really the timeline for people in developing a career. It's just not a snap your finger type of approach. It takes time, and things can really go places. You just never know. Life's full of surprises. So now this here is Cameron, and Cameron's from Ontario. Cam's story is more of a career journey rather than a business launch. So Cam was really after gaining employment. That was always his goal. He was with us during 2013 and took both programs, the Web Essentials and Web Advanced, and successfully graduated from both programs that year. Cam ran into some struggles in the advanced program, but to his benefit, he was able to communicate his difficulties that he had run into to our team. And from our side, we were able to recognize this and really give him some leeway, give him some support. And really all he needed was a couple weeks to make sure that situation turned itself around. And yes, ultimately he was successful in graduating. So shortly after graduating, this email appeared in our in baskets. And Cam wrote, after notifying a job coordinator of my completion of IBDE's program, I received a job posting by email Tuesday. I contacted the company Wednesday and landed an informal interview the same day. Had a 15-minute meeting with the head of the company in the afternoon and started at 8 a.m. the next day for a work trial. I finished a simple project for the company my second day today and made some good progress on a second project. At the end of the day today, I found out I will be able to officially start on Monday, November 4th. Looks like finishing school in a highly popular field was a great choice. I want to thank you all for the guidance and support throughout this past year. Completing a college program after failing to finish my university education was a great accomplishment for me. You have all been a really big help. Like Colin, we're still in touch with Cameron. And Cameron's come in to speak in our classroom. And really Cameron's, as a young adult, learned that he is classified as having bipolar disorder. But Cam really is outspoken and wants to educate others who have this condition, who live with bipolar disorder, and their families, how to support the person with bipolar disorder, about medications and interventions, and some of what he does to be successful. On the other side too, he also is an amazing writer and paints a very clear picture about what it feels like to be living with bipolar disorder, the extreme highs and the extreme lows, and his language is so clear that you can really feel how, I've got to say, terrifying it can be when things are not well, when you're not in that healthy place. He's in our program, he created a blog called cam.majorminor.ca. It's still a live blog, and I do encourage you to take a visit to that blog. Cam's done some video interviews as well, and really speaks casually and so well. He's so well spoken about how he speaks, and he's being interviewed by his aunt in these videos. So I encourage you really to, if you want to gain some greater insight into living with a mental health issue, do visit Cam's blog. Now this here's just a little short one, but this is more of a business launch. And just this last summer, we had a client who very quickly really was motivated to get herself set up in time for the tourist season on Vancouver Island, and she did it. I don't think she could quite believe it and had to pinch herself, but our thoughts for Elaine were that we wish her success as she completes her business plan and opens her doors to a busy tourist season. She was selling her own works here as well as some items from other creators. So that kind of brings us back to us again. So looking a little bit inward, and what do our clients have to say about us? Going back to the research study that we conducted several years ago, we were actually able to get this input. And again, like everything we learned from this study, it was quite shocking for us to hear. So it was good feedback. It was very positive feedback, and this is specifically about the Business Abilities program. What our participants reported, you can see in this hand here. What's important to clients in our program, this is what we were measuring, was definitely the experience in their business coach. That's a biggie. But what's also as important, if not more so, is the support, having people accepting them, being understanding, patient, personable. So all those soft skills. And thankfully we're meeting what people value. So that's what was reported back to us. And I'm always taken when I look out into the fingers and on the tips and you see kind. And I don't know, like kind is a hard sort of value or something to have in programming. So I think it just really speaks to people like Doug working in our programs. And it's super important. So that's what, another thing that we're all about here is really listening to what's important and striving to deliver the type of service that's important to our participants. Before we wrap up here, I also like to reflect on a few more of the testimonials that have come in over the years. And I guess there was a time when I didn't think quite as much about the living circumstances or family income factor. But our programs are making a difference at the family level. And Kalinda's write up here really exemplifies this. So Kalinda from British Columbia said, "It has been very difficult to come to terms with the changes in my life since the accident that left me with a brain injury 3 years ago. Programming in a quiet room is one of the few options I have now to contribute financially in my home. With this training, I have also been able to participate again in the business my husband and I built over the last 14 years. We are now able to offer web design as an option for our customers." I think what we see and what we hear is people want a reason to get up in the morning, and we're helping, as long as the client